Hello friends, Jeff here and welcome to my corner and welcome to Quick Tip Tuesday number 18. Now today we're going to talk about razor saws, and I know that a lot of you guys are already familiar with these, but for the ones who aren't, let me show you a couple tips that you can use them for and also why they are so important on your workbench. So stay tuned and I'll show you a couple tricks what you can do with it other than cutting plastic, so keep watching. Now there are a few razor saws that float on the market, for instance like this one. I bought this about 10-15 years ago from Micromark. Still holding up today. The handle is a little bulky and I had to replace of course the blade a few times because they're a little brittle, but it does the trick. Now they're getting harder and harder to find. Now several years ago CMK, they released their version on the market of a razor saw, and to my experience these are a little bit better. They're a little bit more lightweight, more ergonomic, and they come in this configuration. So you basically have to put those together. It comes with a bag of a couple screws and then of course a razor blade. So let's put this together first and then we'll explain what you can do with them. So assembly is pretty straightforward. You put the blade in there like this, and then of course you close the upper half, and then it comes with a little nut and bolt where the blade is situated. And it's good to have a couple screwdrivers handy. And all you need to do is putting a couple more screws in the handle. And there you go. It's pretty secure in there and you're ready for action. So what actually can you do with this? So first and for all, I think they're more designed to remove resin, like delicate resin from the carrier, like for instance this figure here. Because if you use your sprue nipper, there is always the possibility that you damage the foot or damage the part itself. If it's close to the carrier, then you run a big risk when snipping it off that you might damage the actual part. The razor saw, you don't have that problem. The razor saw, you are more in control and have a lot easier way to remove the parts without being worried that you're going to break it. Here we go. So that's one thing that you can do. And again, here there are some more delicate parts here. So instead of using a sprue nipper, you're better off cutting it off, and you can get like a nice clean cut without damaging the part itself. So there we go. So that's one. So then of course there are the sprues. You know, again, no big deal by cutting these off with a sprue nipper. But sometimes, and we all experience this, when you try to remove a part from the sprue with a sprue nipper, that while you're cutting this and you put some pressure on there, that you might run the risk while you snip the part off that there is still a little bit of damage to the part itself. So with a razor saw, you don't have that risk. You just start sawing and you have no problem at all. So that's another thing that you can use it for. Now, as I mentioned, razor saw blades come in different sizes and shapes. I guess it all depends on the serrations, the amount of serrations or the amount of teeth that they carry. For instance, CMK has about 3 or 4 different ones. We have the smooth saw here, we have the very smooth saw, and then last but not least, we have the ultra smooth and extra smooth saw. They all are very thin, and you can either put them in a holder or you can hold them by hand. They're not as sturdy as when you put them in a holder, but still they do the trick. And that's very important when one of those breaks. If a razor saw break, it's not the end of the world because you can easily use them by holding them in your hand. Like for instance, I got one here that broke, but I still use it because they're so super thin, so extra thin. You don't take a lot of material away when you saw, because there are some razor saws on the market that when you use them, they leave like a wide gap. These don't do this. It works especially if you have to open up some control surface, like for instance on this wing here. You just have to gently start sawing, and let me see if I don't go too far, like this. And then when you clean it up, you will see that you only have a very, very narrow opening. You almost didn't take any material away. So that is a very, very good characteristic that the razor saws have, is that you don't take a lot of material away. What else can you do with it? Well, if you like to work with milliput and you have to make like a piece of like a tarp or a blanket or something, and you want to put some stitches on it, you can easily make an impression, a very gentle impression in it, and it will leave the perfect stitching. Or if you have to create a zipper or simulate a zipper in milliput, this is the thing to do it because of the serrations. You can easily make an imprint and it works just fine. But the main reason that you use a razor saw is to remove delicate parts from either a resin carrier or plastic parts that are very delicate from their sprue, and instead of using the nipper, which is fine, which works, nippers work like 80-90% of the time just fine, but just a couple parts that are a little dangerous to remove with the nipper, you better remove these with a razor saw. Now we carry these in our store. We got all kind of sizes, and we got the one with the holder. So if you're interested in picking one up, please go to our website at www.jeffvcornerstore.com, and I'm sure we can accommodate you. But that is for now. Other than that, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and share us on Facebook. And most importantly, please go to our website at jeffvcornerstore.com to sign up with your email for updates and, of course, new arrivals. But that's it for now. I hope you liked it. Please give us a thumb up, and I'll see you guys next time in another Quick Tip Tuesday or on a live session on Sunday at 7 o'clock Central Time. But for now, Jeff V here, signing off.